and blessings, everybody. This is Nika Williams, and I'm hanging out with my boy, just some guy named Jay, on the podcast. Check us out. Follow the funny at Nika Will.
Thank you for choosing the SNL Fan Podcast, and I'm your host, just some guy named Jay. And in this installment of the SNL Fan Podcast, what we're doing is we're ranking all 15 cast members of Saturday Night Live for the current season, of course, from the worst to the best, all 15, excluding Seth Meyers. So it's 16 cast members right now, and Sasheer's made we can't count her yet, and we can't count Seth Meyers because all he does is Weekend Update. And I also want to let you know too, this is just for how they've been performing for this season so far. So you guys might say, well, why is this person ranked higher than that person? That person is way better than that person. No, I'm strictly ranking their performances on this season. So let me give you an example. Nasim Pedrad. She's not ranked that high on this list, but that's mainly because she hasn't really been doing much this season. And and that may not be her fault or whatever. And she is very talented. Like if I just would have ranked everybody on talent alone, Nasim Pedrad would be in that upper echelon of people. However, this season, Nasim Pedrad is not, hasn't really been one of the top performers. Let's just call a spade a spade. So I just want to let you guys know that's why certain people are ranked in a certain order, not based on their overall talent, but just based on how they've been doing so far this season. All right? But before I even rank them, I want to give a shout out. I want to give a shout out to Vibes Live Radio. I'm going to put the link in the information box below. You can check them out at www.vibeslive.com. Vibes Live is a 24-hour live stream with different shows, different segments on it. They play all types of music from hip-hop, R&B, gospel. They also have ministries on there. And they also have good talk radio segments where they give advice to people about what's going on in life. A lot of the segments are hosted by Robin Lynn, and Robin Lynn's also the producer and program director of Vibes Live, and she also produces other blog talk radio shows as well. But yeah, definitely check out Vibes Live. It's got some great audio content. All right, like I said, check them out in the links below. Okay, now let me go to the ranking. All right, at number 15. Well, actually, at number negative 40-something. Negative 462. I can't even say number 15. Mike O'Brien. Mike O'Brien is dead last on this list. Dead at the bottom. And it's kind of sad because Mike O'Brien was one of the people I was looking forward to. Because I liked 7 Minutes in Heaven. I saw a little bit of his stand-up on YouTube. I was like, yeah, he's pretty funny. And also last season, he did pretty good. Having the these little small little roles on the Justin Bieber episode, the Justin Timberlake episode. And I was like, yeah, I think this guy he would make a good cast member. And now he's finally in the cast, and I'm like, oh my God. He's just seems so uncomfortable on camera. Just so unnatural. He doesn't deliver his lines well. It's like he's just kind of hello, my name is Mike O'Brien. How you doing? Thank you and good night. That's his whole performance. Like it's just no feeling, no inclination, no kind of different, things in his voice. He's just playing with it, And hopefully he'll improve, man, because I don't want anybody to just, like Mike O'Brien, man. He should just stay the writer. I actually missed Tim Robinson in the cast. I remember when Tim Robinson, I was like, oh my God, this dude, I can't see him really being a major player on SNL as a performer. But they said that, he used to pitch great things during the pitch meeting, so they made him a writer. And Mike O'Brien is performing way worse than Tim Robinson did last season. It is what it is. I hate that it's like that. I want him to do better. Because as a fan of the show, I want everybody in the cast to be on fire. But unfortunately, Mike O'Brien is not. Number 14, Brooks Wheelan. Brooks Wheelan, He's another one like Michael Brien that I was looking forward to seeing. I was thinking, oh man, this Brooks Wheelan guy, he's pretty funny. Because I remember his stand up. I remember seeing him on different little things and stuff on YouTube, and I was like, yeah, he's pretty funny. But I think Brooks Wheelan, he might be one of those people that might be better as a writer too, because like he might write better jokes for the other cast members, but him as a performer, he's just not hitting it, you know. And I say his best performances was actually the Tina Fey episode, the season premiere, when when he was dancing during the monologue, the little meth skit, his one or two lines, and him playing the big kid, in the airplane skit. That's pretty much it. Everything else about Brooks Wheelan, he's just not doing it for me either. And I mean, I would like to see him step it up, but so far, I'm keeping it real. At number 13, Noel Wells. Noel Wells goes down on as number 13, mainly because she just hasn't been doing much, and then when she does, I mean, every time she does get a chance to shine, she either does okay or she does well, If she doesn't do anything, like she doesn't hit a home run, she just kind of knocks it off, kind of knocks it out there, but she don't have any big slamming hits, And what ranked her? Because I was actually thinking about ranking her higher than John Milhiser, but that Allison Hannigan made me rank her a little. I was like, oh my God, no, not that Allison Hannigan. But I'm actually looking forward to seeing Noel Wells do better, because I was thinking that maybe she might be, she might actually be the better Abby Elliott. With all the impressions that she does and things like that. She needs to start doing those little manic pixie nightmare sketches on Saturday Night Live, the stuff that she did in her YouTube videos, because those were pretty good. But her performance on SNL, so far, she hasn't really made a name for herself. And then now that Sasheer and Meyers joining the cast, and they already got like 6 or 7, 9, 10 females on there already right now. So, and plus the guys also dress up like women too. So I don't know, Noels. Hopefully we'll see you next season. Number 12, John Milhiser is at number 12. I'm definitely feeling his performance. He's a great, like, kind of physical comedian. He does a lot of physical things. At first, I thought John Milhiser actually impressed me, because I thought he was going to be the next Paul Brittain, or the next, I thought he was going to be the next Jeff Richards. I was like, this guy's not going to get any airtime, and when he does, he'll be playing a waiter, or he'll be playing man number 2. He'll be pretty much playing a white Jay Pharaoh, with nothing to do. But John Milhiser, man, he's really the little things they've given him, the chances that they've given him. He's pretty much ran with it, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing more of John Milhiser. I think John Milhiser might end up being like an Adam Sandler, and I'm like, what? How can you say? But what I mean by that is I think John Milhiser might turn into one of these crowd-pleasing kind of guys, and I hope he does. Like, I hope he does little things to kind of get the crowd hype, and little kind of like these little silly little characters, just that people can just kind of like, to kind of get the younger audience feeling them, Because I can imagine John Milhiser, going in that direction. But yeah. But so far, I just have to rank him at number 12. Hopefully by the end of the season, he'll do some really outstanding things. At number 11, the AT&T guy. The AT&T guy, man, he's been pretty good. I like the sketches he's done. He's actually gotten the most airtime out of all the new featured cast members. The AT&T guy, pretty much, he's kind of been headlining a couple of sketches, been kind of the major anchor in a lot of them, and and I think they're doing that because he's the AT&T guy. He's one of the kind of the most recognizable out of the featured players. So I guess they want to kind of capitalize on that and keep kind of putting them out there. And plus, the show doesn't really have too many guys that are straight men, because Taran Killam, he's like I said in the previous podcast, Taran Killam's more of the foil. He can't really play it straight too often, and when he does play it straight, he's kind of boring. And Beck Bennett is kind of that guy who can do that. He's that guy who can play the dad. He can play the serious executive, or he can play the Beck Bennett can play those guys. I was gonna say AT&T guy all through the thing, and I was gonna say Beck Bennett at the end, but whatever. The AT&T guy, Beck Bennett, goes at number 11. At number 10, Vanessa Bayer. As a lot of y'all know, listening to the podcast, I'm not really too much of a fan of Vanessa Bayer. I actually liked her. Her best season was her first season on the show because I was like, wow, Vanessa Bayer. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing her. I like her. Her Miley Cyrus and all that stuff like that. And I did like that Lady Gaga skit. But like I said, I'm only ranking the cast members for what they've done this season so far. So I'm not adding up what she's done in the previous years. I'm going by what she's doing now. And so far, like I like her characters. Like I like that she has a lot of interesting kind of recurring characters and things like that. But she's not. Her execution is kind of poor. It's one of those things. Like it's a great idea, but poor execution. And another thing I don't like about Vanessa Bayer is she stays committed to bad jokes. Now Will Ferrell, he's one of those people that kind of takes a bad joke. But the thing about Will Ferrell is he takes a bad joke and makes it funny, or he'll say it funny, or he'll try to take a bad joke and kind of try to change the direction of it. Or if he sees where a skit is kind of bombing, Will Ferrell knows how to go in there and kind of just change the mood of the skit. But Vanessa Bayer, she doesn't know how to do that. Vanessa Bayer will stay committed, like the crowd, the audience won't be laughing. You can kind of tell that it's bombing, and she will just stay. She will just continue on. I think a lot of those sketch theater and improv people, they're kind of, I think that's the thing. They're not stand-up comedians. A lot of them. And a stand-up comedian, they'll stand there and if they're not doing, they'll work the room. They'll fill out the crowd. They'll see where something's not going right. They'll kind of change their act, or they'll kind of change to kind of fit the mood of what's going on. And I know you're saying, well, they got to stick to the cue cards. They have to stay committed to to the scene if it's bombing. But the thing is, Will Ferrell had to stick to the same cue cards as Vanessa Bayer and all these other people. But Will Ferrell knew how to kind of change his performance. And Taran Killam is another one that does that. Now, Taran Killam is a guy who kind of, where he sees that it's not going good, or he kind of sees where it's not, where it's not funny, or it's not, where the audience is not really reacting to it, and he'll kind of do something extra, or he'll kind of turn his head a certain way, or he'll kind of do something to keep it kind of interesting. But Vanessa Bayer, she needs to look at Taran Killam and Will Ferrell and kind of learn how to do that, because she has to keep doing something. Like, she just runs something into the ground, At number 9, Nasim Pedrad is at number 9. Nasim Pedrad, I think she's one of the best performers this season. But like I said, the thing about Nasim Pedrad is that she hasn't, she doesn't. Well, okay, let me put it like this. I kind of daydreamed a little bit. My mind kind of drifted. Nasim Pedrad hasn't really. I think she's one of the better cast members. But the thing about her is she hasn't been featured much. And then when she is featured, she's not really, she's not really killing it. But sometimes she does. Sometimes she does. Like that skit where she did where they did the beauty pageant. It's kind of like her actions and her reactions to things kind of made it funny, even though she didn't have that many lines. And same thing with, but what really brought her score down was when she did that Heshie character when Kerry Washington hosted. That's what really made me go, okay, nah, I can't really give Nasim Pedrad all the props and respect that I've done in the previous seasons. But yeah, she hasn't really been getting a lot of airtime, and when she does, she does okay, or she does, I'm a miss her, but actually, to be honest with you, although I'm going to miss her on SNL, and she's moving on to the John Mulaney show. She is. She's kind of dead weight right now. She's kind of. It's kind of like Darrell Hammond kind of thing. It's like Darrell Hammond always gives a solid performance when he's performing, but he's just pretty much taking up space. Pretty much. He does the impressions when they need him, and then he's just kind of sitting there. And that's kind of how what Nasim Pedrad's doing. It's kind of like, well, we'll insert her in the places we need her, but she's not really she's not really enhancing the show, to be honest with you. She's good, she's very talented, but like I said, she's just kind of she's just kind of there. All right, now I just did 15 through 9. Let's recap. Michael Brien at number 15. Brooks Wheelan at number 14. Noel Wells at number 13. Number 12, John Milhiser. Number 11, Beck Bennett. Number 10, Vanessa Bayer. Number 9, Nasim Pedrad. All right. Now I'm going to do the rest in another podcast. Also, check out Vibes Live. I'm going to put the links in the information box below so you can listen to the live stream. They also play some of my podcasts on Vibes Live, too. So, definitely check that out. Okay. That's all for now. That's all I like to say. I'm just some guy named Jay. Good night and have a pleasant tomorrow.